All right, hello. Here we go. I opened up my Unreal Engine Blueprint Editor. I'm in 5.0.3. We're going to start a blank project. We're going to use blueprints, and we'll leave it for desktop. No starter content. This will be completely empty. This is how we'll work this. We'll have fun and we'll just play and we'll see what we can do. Today we'll probably just bring in some sprite sheets, break them up, and get them going. Okay, you open that up, and I already did, and here you go. This is what it looks like. This is your basic, opening map to get loaded. It's an untitled map, default settings. And you could look around, see what it's all about or whatever. This is definitely going to change, and it's not going to stay. We'll just use this for the purposes of showing off what we do. All right? Because we'll probably end up going into our content folder or browser and setting up everything there. See? And take a look around. See our little world. And then we'll just get started. Yeah? We'll see if we can make something come to life and have fun. So we'll go into our content browser, and then we'll go to import. From import, we will go and take these files, which you've just downloaded from the link. You'll hold Control, left click, keep holding Control, and select all three. You could hold down Shift and do the whole thing, but there's just three of them. So just hold down click and click each one. Once that's done, hit OK, and there you go. It's imported into the editor. We'll be auto-saving. We'll fix that later. That's kind of annoying once in a while. And these are our sheets. We'll start with our player character. And as you can see, as we zoom in, it looks a little fuzzy. It's a little blurry. I don't think that's going to work really well for us and what we're trying to do. So there's a few little quick fixes here that's like awesome. It's like a little genie in a bottle. There'll be two little areas that we're going to touch upon. That's all you really need to do. All right, so here we go. We'll go over to here. And over here, we're going to click on this. We're going to turn this off and go down to the user interface. Click on this. Once you do that, you could see it kind of tightens it up a little bit. But there's also one more thing you need to do. You need to find textures, and you need to go down to filters. There we go. And take this. This will align your pixels up, linear, bilinear, nearest, and then default, which is garbage. We want this. And when you click this, it'll be amazing. Like, simply amazing. Everything will clear up and look just like it did. See? Look at how nice that looks. And we'll probably have to do that to all of them, because that's just how it happens from the conversion. But that's very quick, simple, and they're all ready to go. Okay? You do that with the enemy folder, and you do that with the items folder. All right. Okay, let's see. Where are these other ones? We'll play with them. Close this. All right. Open this. Here's our enemy, and as you can see, same thing. We'll just go here, user interface, scroll down to textures, filters, put it to nearest, and there you go. We're done. There we go. Everything is nice and clear, and everything works just fine. Same here with our items, our power and our energy and our little destructible crate or object. Hopefully we'll spawn some of this energy or power-ups later on, obviously. Okay, there you go. And that's clean. Okay. Alrighty. Next, what I like to do is I'll clean these up. I'll slide down to Sprite Actions, and I'll go down to Paper2D. And I'll click this. It just kind of cleans it up a little bit. I don't know if it makes much of a difference, but I do it anyway. That's how I learned. And I never have problems with anything. It's probably something graphical or something like that. It probably gets glitchy or twitches out, but I never tried it that way. We might do something like that here, but that's what it does. It takes away that background and it kind of just leaves that image. So there shouldn't be anything else in there. Okay, and then what we do, we go down to Sprite Actions again. And then we go to Create or Extract Sprites. And see, automatically what it does is it'll highlight all the sprites for you, like every little thing, which is okay. But if you notice on some of these boxes, I have a little bit on the tops of my camera. Let me see if I can zoom this in correctly so you can see a little better. You see how some of them have a little speck on top? That's like, you don't want that. That brings in stuff and it's like artifacting. So we're going to do this manually. And since I did this on a 64 by 64 canvas, I could probably just swap this to the grid because I did a proper sprite sheet import. Okay, and then I will slide down to here and I will type in 64 by 64 because, like I said, each one was made on a 64 pixel canvas. And there you go. We have each one, and it looks like the animations might even be broken up. You have an idle, space, walk, space, run, space. And it looks good, and even that one that was connected that we just saw a little while ago, it's now broken apart. Alright, everything is separate. We could take this, we could hit OK, and we can extract all of our sprites. Boom. There you go. I think we should make a folder because if we don't, this will get crazy. And like I was saying, look, you got these little blank sections that break up the sections of each flipbook we'll make. So it's somewhat organized. We could delete those later when we finished up everything, but this is how we'll do it. Like, see, run, stop. I got stance, stop, attack, all the way down, stop, and then it'll be jump start, you know, and then there's jump in there, jump down, jump landed, hit and that are the same. I basically had to steal one of the hits, redo them just to give it a negative approach so it looks like it flashes in game. You got a space, and then these are probably just dead space it caught. We could delete those and then our melee attack with our projectile. Okay, and then we'll do the same for the enemy. This is, I mean, you could kind of fast forward this if you want. I mean, it's going to be the same thing for each one. Same exact steps, same exact methods, and this is how you'll set up your sprites so we can start setting up flipbooks, which will be the animations, and we'll set them into sequences and blueprints, and that's how the character will actually come alive. Okay, I like to color coordinate my folders a little bit. That makes it simple when it's huge. I see everything in that content side filled all the way down like an endless scroll. Oh, God, it's crazy. And then we'll make another folder in this folder, and we will call it our player's our sprite. No. Yeah, our player sprites folder. That's fine. We'll do that. Make it a shade lighter. And we'll move all our sprites into there. So we'll get that, and then eventually we'll make a folder for our flipbooks. I think it's important to keep everything organized when doing something like this, especially if you do it by yourself, because you got to really be focused on what you're doing to get it to go right, and it's like intricate work, and unless you're really jotting down every little thing you do, it's kind of hard to remember where things are or how you did it, and being color coordinated kind of helps out a little bit, for me anyway. Anything that helps to keep it organized helps. Trust me, less is better if it works right. And I haven't really been doing this that long, so I am a noob at this also. So I'm kind of like showing you the way I've kind of picked it up through my own sort of like self-educated lessons. So yeah, a lot of it eventually will be wrong, but it'll work. And, you know, if I learn things new, I'll always fix it. upgrade it. We'll find better ways to do things. It's always time for improvement and learning. I gotta really fill up this time because it's a lot of the same stuff. Alright, a lot of the same stuff. It could be meticulous and tedious, yes, and that's a bulk of it. And then you have your troubleshooting when you run into little errors. And we'll deal with those when we get to those. And look, same thing here. You got the last one on the bottom there, you got like 4 pixels. That's just supposed to be one frame, like one sprite. So once again, I gotta do this. And it's important when you first originally set up these sprites and these characters, when you put them into sprite sheets, remember the canvas size that you're using. If it's a 64 by 64, 32 by 32, 16 by 16, because when you come into this editor and it's broken up into a sprite sheet, you have issues like I do with fragmented sprites for like one sprite. Typing it in this way will definitely alleviate that problem. And it's a lot less time consuming than having to fix it manually in some other program. Yeah, I know that for a fact. So that's huge. So like I said, easier is better if it works. And this definitely works. Okay. Same thing, we got all the same things here. A little more basic because it's just an enemy. You'll have an idle, a move, angry, attack, die, hit. You know, nothing crazy. All right, and we'll make his folder also. All right, we'll move him into there. Oh. So get this. What color? I should be reddish. Red. It's almost like a magenta. Yeah, alright, I'll do that. And then a subfolder. Well, also was what? Player sprites? Yeah, alright. We'll go enemy sprite. Or enemy. Or enemy? Or enemies? Enemy sprites. Enemy sprites. Alright. Yeah, alright. I think so. Yeah, alright, why not? Alright, change this, we'll make this the same, we'll lighten it up a little bit just to change it up to make it look like a subfolder. There you go. There you go. There we go. Alright. There's my dog in the background, barking again. I love these guys, I really do. Alright, move that there. Okay. Oh. I'm gonna do the same. And maybe this one, I won't do the Paper2D. I'll just leave it as it is, just to see if there is any glitch, because they will be spinning and turning. So we'll see what happens. All right, and if it is, it's not a big deal. I can always go back, just hit the folder, click on it, and redo it. And just redo the sprites. It's work, but it's not the end of the world type of work. And see, once again, I got the same thing. It's always like that. I guess it's kind of good if you want to be like that and have individual pieces. That's a lot of work for me. I can't really do that at all. So fucking all right, here we go. Type the items folder. Alright, in about 2 minutes, if my dogs don't stop barking, I'm gonna get up and shut them up. Because now they're just being spoiled little brats. Because they gotta be around me all the time. Which I love, but I need to do some things too, personally. Which would just be wrong if they're sitting here and I just ignore them. So, yeah. Probably cat roaming through the yard or someone else walking the dog. Those are my buddies. Alright, this is all set up. Here we go. Same thing, lighten these up. I guess so. I don't want to play around with this too much. Alright. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, alright, let's just move these. We'll move everything over. This I'll probably leave, like I said. Alright, we'll do that later. See, I hold down Shift. If I select the first one, hold down Shift, and then you go to the last one, and then this highlights everything. We'll move it right over. Boom. Put it in there. And then we'll take our texture sheet and we'll put it in our main folder. Over here. I screwed up. I don't know because I'm paying attention to my dogs in the background. Hit my door. Okay. Yeah, save. Always save and stuff like that, because sometimes the editor will shut down, especially if you're putting things together and then you go to test play it and you really don't know what you're doing, like me a lot of times, and then all of a sudden it just crashes and you're like, oh my god, I got to do everything all over again. So it's a very good habit of learning how to compile and save. Okay, and let's make our little player character folder here. Let's get situated, or actually a game folder. And I will use a hashtag to start it off as, because what I'll do, what that does is that keeps that at the top of the list. Okay, like if you wanted something in front of that, you would have to double hashtag or hashtag with a letter, before G. But we'll do this like this. And we'll set it up and have it, and we'll put all of our stuff in there, like probably like our character blueprints and our enemy blueprints. All right, and we'll kind of set one up here, and I think I might have messed up. Let me set this up. We might have to download a plugin. The plugin is free, but it also helps in 2D development a lot, especially in the animation end. It's got some really great features and cool nodes. So let me set this up, and then I'm pretty sure I did not load it. So let's check. I'll leave this. Yeah, I'll keep this the same thing, because this is our like player folder, and we'll go in here, and I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna have to open up a blueprint. I'm gonna type in. Yeah, I know I don't got it. I don't see it on the list here. PaperZD. See, these are actors and pawns and characters, and they tell you which each one does in the game or the level. We'll be doing a character, but the actual character format isn't here. So we'd probably have to slide down to like the all classes, and then we would type in what we're looking for. But like 3D games, this is basically what it's set up for. These are all your basic things, real easy, so you don't gotta code it or type it. It's all set up for you already. So yeah, it's really cool. There's a lot of particular stuff you don't have to worry about. But for us, we gotta go to all classes and type in PaperZD, and I don't think I have it. No, I just have the original paper character. This isn't a big deal. You could just back out and go to our plugins. You go up here, go scroll down to the bottom, go to plugins. Mine's, I find an other, and it's PaperZD. Click on this. You'll have to restart the engine. Restart the engine after you get this and come back to me. Here you go. I already did this, and everything is all set up. So we'll go back to our player character. And should I do that right now? Yeah, I believe I do want to do this. Just get this out of the way. Let's go down to PaperZD. We'll type this in all classes, and we'll set up our first blueprint so we can get like the essence of the character starting to come to life, because we're going to be setting up animations next, and it takes time to do this before we actually get into coding, I guess, or setting up blueprints and nodes for our character to move around. So proper naming, I left a link also for proper naming if you want to like package this or do whatever. It's just a habit I got into. We'll name this BP for blueprint underscore player character. Well, it's player. Just leave player. I don't want to do player character too much. Okay. Here we go. Oh, wow. This is going to take a while. This is going to take a while. Because I usually use a much lower version, especially on this laptop. So this is like the first time I'm really opening up 5.0. So it probably needs a little time to buffer it. But once it's open, I think it should be pretty quick. It's like when you're downloading characters. See? Oh, there you go. Should be fine after this. All right. This is our screen. This is where you're going to work. This is where you're going to build your character. All right. On the left, on the upper left is all the components. You know, your sprites, like the arrow, the direction, the movement. Below that is all your event graphs encoding with variables. To the right, you have a details panel that gives you everything. And what we're going to be doing here is this interface. I'm going to give it an interface that alleviates a node that I am not too comfortable using. I'll probably explain it more as we go on, but I want to do this to get it out of the way. This is the area where we're going to be putting our sprites or our flipbooks from our sprites, and you could change your materials, the types. You know, you could do your movement speed here down where the character movement is and all of this stuff. But yeah, this is how it works. So what we'll do first is we'll set up something so when we want to call this character, it's just this character, not everything else. Okay? And that'll be another blueprint, and we'll go down to this regular, I think it's regular blueprint. Yes, and we want interfaces. And this will be called int underscore player underscore character. Okay? There we go. Now we'll open this up. You have this function here. I will rename this function player underscore cast call. And then it will need one output pin here. And we'll go down to this output pin, open it up, and we're going to put in the file we just made. Ooh, I need to save. It's got the little asterisk. All right, save. Okay. All right. Oh, compile and save. Same thing. All right, here we go. Type in BP. Like underscore player. Find it in your list. Go to the object reference. Click this. Go down. Rename this. You could rename it what you named it on top or whatever you choose to name it, but this will now be a variable that we're going to soon set. So like every time we want to call our player character, it will just reference this bit of logic, not a whole spiel of it that it's got to sort through. And what you do, you come back here, in here, and then we'll implement this. It's very easy to implement. All you got to do is scroll over, find your class settings. Where is the class settings? Oh yeah, that's right, it's over here. Boom. Go down to this, interfaces, add. Type in what you just called your interface, int/, scroll down. There it is. Select it. There you go. It's in. It is now up in the coding section on the bottom left side of your editor under interfaces. Click this, open it, and what you do is you pull off this pin, type in self. You want to get a reference to itself, the BP player cast call node. You want the player, so you want to get itself. This self meaning this blueprint. Okay, this is where we'll compile, save. And this guy has his own personal little logic field set up. Now we got to get our animations going and put it together. Hopefully we can get it just idled enough to put it out into the map, and then from there, maybe another episode or two, we'll start actually making it controllable and animated. So, okay, with that, I say we should get to some animations and some flipbooks, because that was the whole point of this. And I'll probably, it's time consuming and tedious, and I don't know, maybe like kind of like a sort of homework. I'll set this guy up, the main character, because the steps will all be the same. So let's select this. Got these three. These will be our idle. Why did that black out like that? I hope that's all right. Let me see. I don't want to fix this. Oh, no. Oh, but look at how fast he is. All right, let's play with the animation rates. By default, it's kind of fast, so I'll dumb it down. I'll put it down to 9, because that's just personally what I like. You could leave it. You could do whatever. Then we can go to the bottom here. You see, we could stretch these frames out. We could delay them and make them longer, so it looks more realistic. And I'll play with these, and that looks pretty decent. And I think we'll leave something like that. Very, very simple. That's all it is. You could save, and then you move on to your next flipbook and animation. I like naming them correctly also. FB _ and then say this would be idle. Next one would be run. It doesn't really have to be player character idle, player character run, just because the animation source we make would be just for this character. So nobody else could really use it unless they use that source. All right, and like I said, I'll rename this correctly. This is a flipbook, and we should rename all the sprites correctly also. I don't think that should be shown here. That's something you could do on your own if you really wanted to. All right, this is just for purposes to show you. And once again, it might not even be right what I'm showing you here, but this works for me, and this is more for people who just want to get into this and don't know much of anything about it. I kind of learned it on my own by watching my own tutorials and YouTube videos and whatever. I like it. So it's not as hard as you think it is. It actually becomes addictive. All right, so yeah, let's do the walk. We'll do the same thing. And let's see, aim this FBV. Okay. Yeah, it's just having. I'm typing play. I don't really need to. Oh my god, it's like speed walking. Like I said, you could just play with this. You don't have to leave it at these rates or these frame rates or whatever, or even the delays. You could leave it at whatever you want. I'm just showing you how you can manipulate your little animational flipbook. That's all. All right, it's all about how you want to do it and how you like it. That's all that matters. As long as you're happy. Oh, I love my coffee. All right. This is good. Yeah, this is good. I like this. Is okay. This definitely works. All right. Okay. Then we do the same thing for the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. And yes, if you really, really want to watch this, you could. I just recorded it all for the purpose of going through the motions and the time it takes and the steps you need to do. You could watch it. You could just fast forward it. It's fine. Up to the next point. But right here, I'm going to sit here and do this as I need to do this. And it might be boring if I haven't bored you already. God, probably sounds so monotone. Alright, do this. And this is really boring in time because this is something great to do like first thing in the morning when you wake up. Like if you're on a weekend or whatever, you got nothing to do or your day off, you just come, get up, get a pot of coffee, sit down and do all the tiny mundane stuff until your brain wakes up. Then you can get to your coding and programming, It's on you. I mean, every time I see this one, it looks weird, but it works in game because it's probably the way the sprites situate. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's probably why. That will need to. There's one more thing we need to do with these sprites that's important before we actually play them in game. That's like another little section. I won't do that here because we really won't get to it. It's something you just might be an oversight at this point because it's not really that important. So, yeah, we'll definitely get to it though. It's the bulk matrixing for the sprites. Yeah, I know it sounds like crazy wild, right? But it's not. It's a pretty cool feature, man. I use it all the time. I think it also causes some of my problems. But, all right. Yeah. This will be like an attack stance. I don't even know if we'll use this one. We'll see. We'll see how we set it up and the enemies are set up. Alright. Here you go. Like I said, you guys can do whatever you want to do here. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Did I name this? No, I'm not on. I did run already. See, that's what I get for talking too much. I get sidetracked. I don't pay attention. It's like, dude, wake up. This is fun. This is attack stance. I gotta even like fix it up a little bit. There we go. Yeah. It looks good right now, but I don't know because I didn't do the thing. I do want it bottom centered. Yeah, I know you don't know. I'm thinking out loud. I'm sorry. I'm thinking out loud. That run is different, though. Yeah. Okay, that was save. I was buggy. That did like 5 things in one shot right there. Alright. Let me do my punches. This is a melee attack. Alright, then I got the. I'm almost done with this. I think that's what I'll do. I'll probably leave the enemy and the items for you to do. You can make them go whatever you want to do. See if you understand this a little bit. Let me slow this up. Alright, and that's it. Because once those are all set up, we'll end up putting those together in a little game. I gotta start actually working on some textures for level design towards the end of our character creations. Just to get a little feel. I'd probably put a link for that also. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do the 2 versions or the 1 version. What I mean by that is like a classic side scroll game, kind of like Ninja Turtles or Streets of Rage, where you have slight up and down movement but constantly moving sideways, or more like a platformer, where it's just that one view sideways, and it's just the x-axis left and right. There is no up and down. Alright, so save that. I mean, I could do both. But we'll see. It does take time, and I don't mind doing it. The problem is it's not having the time. It's not a full-time job doing this. This is like more of a hobby for me, which I would love to be more, but it takes time. It takes a lot of time. But whatever little time I get, I do. Yeah. Like I said, it's just me. I like it. And I was scared at first too. Like, oh my god, like program code, and it'd be so cool to make a game. Like, I always really wanted to do that. And this is great. This really makes it simple for you. As long as you're willing to learn how it works, just like any other app or program, you'll be fine. You put in like your time and you do certain things, like yeah, you'll be good at this. Like yeah, it's not hard. You don't need some weird degree or whatever. Not at all. I mean, when you start talking fine tuning things, you might want to get some experts. Let's be realistic, but for the most part, you can put together the fundamentals of the game that you would like to make and have it fine tuned for someone else. All right, by someone else. It's absolutely normal to do that. That's why they have like teams. It's crazy. I don't know how people can sit here and develop one of these all on their own. Like that's nuts. This is nuts. They're sitting down, drawing the pixels, or coming up with the character, then drawing the character, putting it into pixels. Then some people do like Blender, which is 3D modeling, and then you got to add skeletons. That's why there's teams. Like for one person, it's really hard. But that's why you could just program it and get your assets inside their marketplace, and you could do it like that. But I'm a little stubborn. I want to see what I could do. So, all right, I'm almost done with all of this. I'm sorry if I really bored you guys. All right. Yeah. These all work pretty well. Yeah. I think we're okay. Alright. Yeah. That's all I'm doing. I'm gonna get this. We'll put our idle flipbook into our main character that we're going to be playing with, our player character. See what it looks like in the world. You guys can sit there and you guys can put your own flipbooks together and set up your own animations. You can make those little power-ups which were made to, spin or rotate at your own pace. If you're really good, you can maybe make them go up and down if you really want to play with the engine and make some surprises, which isn't that hard. Play with that. Get a feel for that, because you're going to be building these characters, and when you're playing the game, it's not going to look perfect right away, and you're going to want to make little subtle changes so it looks smoother and more fluid. And in order to do that, you got to understand how it works. So even though this sounds really boring, it really makes everything come to life in the end. Everything comes as a whole. All right? Whoa, he's just like flipping back. Like, yo. Whoa, that's a weird position, eh? Yo, what up, dog? How you doing, bro? Okay. Yeah, I won't go too crazy. Like I said, I know I'm going to definitely be coming back to touch it up. I used a blank frame. I shouldn't have put the blank frame all the way. Let me dead that halfway, because I want that blank frame in there to fill up the space as if it's dead in my animation. And then I'll take the last frame and I'll actually spread that out. All right. Yeah, boom. Yeah. Okay, it pauses a little bit, but how long is this? No. That's too long. 30 should be about good. That's good. Yeah, okay, I could do that because I could put a delay in there. Then you want to respawn if you do a life system. Yeah, okay. That might work for me. That looks good. Yeah, all right. All right, there we go. Now, I'm getting stuck playing with this. Yeah, a little slower, right? That might be a little bit of a pause. It looks glitchy a little bit, but whatever. That's good for now. I think that'll be fine. Like I said, I could always make it move a little faster. I really just want to get this. Woof! I just selected everything. I just really want to get this prepped and done. It's tedious. I know I'm telling you guys to be all mate, and here I am rushing like I don't know, like something. I don't know. Yes, sir. Okay, yeah. And we won't worry about that little globe right there. That's a sprite, but it'll be on its own. We don't really need a flip book, I think, right now. I might change my mind on that, but right now I don't think we need that. That's just the object that he shoots. Alright, like I said, we'll delete all of this other stuff later, and we'll clean it up. We'll get this guy working. We'll see if it's in. We can get him in the map and see what it looks like in the world. That's all. And then next video, I'll sit here and I'll start setting up flipbook sequences, animation sources, and if I have time, maybe we'll start actually coding and bringing this guy to life so we could move it, which would be nice. And then from there, we'll see how far it goes. You know, have a completed 2-day SideScroller here. Maybe both, platformer if you want. It's just, with those, it's basically the same thing. It's just a little flick of the camera perspective and a different map setup. You wouldn't be using a map like this. We're going to be using a map like this for a classic SideScroller. We'd have to get tile sets and tile maps, yeah. Which isn't, it's a little different, but it isn't so difficult. So, alright. Oh, that's a little fast. I forgot to fix this. See, when I talk, I can't chew and walk at the same time. I really can't. Alright. Here we go. Yeah, I know. I can't even believe I get this to look halfway decent. I get it. Alright. That's a little... Quick burst. Yeah. Take these bad boys and put them away in our little flipbook folder. We'll go to our character now, like I said. Hit the viewport tab up on top. We'll move over. We'll go to our sprite. Let me just align this first. Open this up so we see what we're doing. Right on the left top hand side, we'll hit our sprite. Go to our flipbook area. Open that up right here. Take our flipbook, open it up, and choose our idle. Our little idle flipbook animation. And let's select that, and there's our character. Problem is, he's really tiny. So let's zoom in and take the capsule. That's its area of influence. And let's kind of bind it to it a little tighter. And we'll do that right here in this editor panel right here on the side. Alright, we'll bring this down. We'll probably shrink this in a little bit. You know what? Let's go 16 by 32. We'll just keep it because I was 64 by 64. Everything should work in these scales, and it should be a nice closed capsule. And yes, that looks good. Now, one other thing I want to do is get its feet slightly underneath that capsule, because that capsule is the collision. It's gonna look, if you, especially I think if you do a platformer, it looks like it's floating, and you don't want that. I'd rather have the feet slightly into the scene a little bit to look like it's attached. And the box is the actual collision of our character. So we'll move this down very, 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 very slightly. Right there. That's it. That's all I want. A part of the sole of that character's boot in the ground. And that should be fine. It won't give that floating effect. So we'll do this. Pick it up, bring it right to our scene, and drop it in. And there he is. And he's breathing. He's facing the opposite direction. And I want to say that's because I have not set up a spring arm or a camera. It's the default scene camera on how it's viewing it. So I don't think that would be an issue, but this is it. This is how we animate and do our things and put them into a game. And you could do these other ones here. Do these. You can set up the animations. And then, next video I come to, we'll set up all the animation sources, the sequences, the animation blueprints, and we'll start linking up our characters so we can move them around in the game. There are some setups for controls on that also. We'll probably be setting up for keyboard, maybe gamepad. I'll probably do gamepad, but most likely 100% keyboard. So check it out, see what you can do, and I'll see you next time. All right, just take a look at everything. Have fun. That's about it.